Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you're here with me. Today, I wanted to open about something that's been on my mind heavily. I was scrolling through YouTube recently and a video popped up from a very well known Muslim influencer revealing that she is going through a divorce. Initially, I was really reluctant to watch it. Lately, it feels like divorce is being advertised or promoted as this trendy celebratory milestone where people show how incredibly happy they are. I didn't want to watch something feeding into that, but I knew her and her husband seemed like a great couple. So I clicked. When I watched it, it just made me feel deeply sad. There was a raw, heavy sadness in her voice. She wasn't promoting anything, she was just hurting. She spoke about uprooting her life, moving countries for this man, and now, years later with children, it hasn't worked out. It was real. Watching her immediately brought things back for me. I know exactly what divorce does to a person because I've been through it. From personal experience, going through a divorce with a child is one of the absolute hardest things you can experience. But I want to share a perspective from someone who is looking back at this 24 years later. When you are at the absolute bottom, in the depths of your emotions and grief, something heavy happens. You figure out who is really there for you. When I was at my lowest, I lost a lot of people I considered good friends and even family members. It felt like when I was down, people wanted to kick me harder. But standing here 24 years later, I look back and I can say I am glad I had to go through that hardship. Why? Because the muddy waters finally became clear. When you go through a trial that intense, it strips away all the fluff, all the excess people, and you are left with a small, beautiful circle of high quality, real people. It gives you the best growth you will ever have in your life. Now, let's make one thing clear. I'm not promoting divorce, but what people forget is that life comes with waves, and sometimes a divorce is inevitable. And guess what? Divorce is not haram, it is accepted and legislated in Islam as a fundamental mercy if a marriage is completely broken. If it is not working, it is better to separate. But if you have reached the end of the road, you have to ride the wave with a level headedness, not bitterness. And the most important factor in that is your children. I see a lot of situations that really upset me where women keep their kids away from their fathers out of spite. And it is mostly women. So I don't want anyone coming up to me and saying, oh, it's not all women. I'm not saying it's all women, but mostly it is women. Let me tell you straight, the only reason you should ever keep a child away from their father is if he is an active danger to them. If you are doing it because you're emotionally hurt and want to get back at him, this is not the way. In the end, your child is the ultimate one who is going to suffer the trauma. Don't poison your children's ears. Don't go into their ears saying, your father is like this or your mother is like that. Let the separation happen smoothly. Don't get stuck in a bitter emotional trap. When I was going through my divorce, people were feeding me all kinds of wrong information. I remember being told, you aren't allowed to see his face anymore. You can't talk to him at all. He's completely haram for you now. And I thought, wait a minute, I have a child with this man. Surely we have things to discuss, schooling and his future. But because of that toxic, rigid advice around us, the lines of communication cut completely. There was no conversation about his input, and even though he originally said he'd be in our child's life, he suddenly wasn't available. He just walked away. No accountability. To be completely vulnerable with you all. Even though I have moved on, I have a beautiful family and more children now, Alhamdulillah, that specific subject is still incredibly raw for me. It happened so abruptly. I didn't even have time to process it. So to this day, my son, who is now a young man, has tried to get closure. He has been reaching out to numerous local mosques in his father's area for help. The mosque approached, apparently him, the father, but he still chose to walk away. And I look at that and think, man, grow up. You are in your late 50s probably, acting like a teenager, while your son is showing real maturity. I still feel that passion and pain in my heart, not for myself, but because I want my son to have that closure. Give him his rights, that's all we're asking, just so he could speak to him. Anyway, I don't want to go through things that I'm going through. It's for a subject for another day. It's too touchy at the moment. So I say all of this to tell you, if you are going through a smooth separation, keep it smooth. Communicate for the sake of the souls you brought into this world. And if you are a single mother listening to this and the father did walk away and you are carrying the entire weight of the world on your shoulders, hang in there. Time is a great healer. When you feel like you are entirely alone in the room, remember that Allah is there. You will pull yourself out of the deepest, darkest situation, and you will grow into a version of yourself you never knew existed. You will move on, because that is just the beautiful, resilient nature of life. So there, I want to leave it, and I want to thank you all so much for listening to my heart today. Please keep the sisters, the brothers, and especially children going through these transitions in your du'as. Protect your peace, protect your homes, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.